So first up are the 5-year awards, and the first up for 5-year awards is Rachel Albin. Rachel started with the city in 2013 as an account clerk 1 for the city clerk finance office. In 2014, she was promoted to account clerk 2. Rachel Albin. Next up for 5-year award, Evan Cronn. Evan began as a part-time police officer in 2013. Then in 2014 was promoted to a full-time position. Evan Cronn. Next on a 5-year is Lyle Pantle. Lyle joined the city as a volunteer firefighter in 2013. He was appointed to a career firefighter position the next year. Lyle Pantle. The next 5-year service award is Rachel Kraus. Rachel has been with the city since 2013. She started as a communications officer and became the shift lead earlier this year. Rachel Kraus. Next 5-year service award is A.J. Hill. A.J. started with the city as a maintenance worker for the service division. He then transferred to the water plant in 2014 as a plant operator 1. A.J. Hill. And rounding out the 5-year awards is Lance Koerner. Lance joined the city as a maintenance worker for the service division. In 2015, he became a plant operator 1 at Water Resources. In August of this year, he was promoted to plant operator 2. Lance Koerner. Ten-year awards. First up for 10 years, Kim Rupp. Kim began as the city's director of finance in December of 2007. You think? Next 10-year award, Bobbi Pfeifer. Bobbi began her career as a receptionist for the Convention and Visitors Bureau and was promoted to the CVB's administrative assistant 5 years later. Bobbi Pfeifer. Next 10-year service award is Jamie Salter. Jamie joined the city in 2007 as an account clerk 1 for the finance office. In 2011, she took over the HR administrative assistant position, and then in 2014, she became the public works administrative assistant. Jamie Salter. Next 10-year service award, Eric Borger. Eric began as a service maintenance worker 1 for the city. He was promoted to maintenance worker 2 in 2010, and in 2016, he became the stormwater operator. Eric Borger. Next 10 years is Kyla Jurgensen. Kyla started with the city as a communications officer. In 2013, she was promoted to communications shift lead. Kyla Jurgensen. Next 10-year service award is Eamonn Coveney. Eamonn came to the city as GIS specialist in May 2008. Eamonn Coveney.
sure they hold.
Next 10-year service award, Toby Alexander. Toby joined the city as a maintenance worker 1 for parks and was promoted to maintenance worker 2 in 2011. Toby Alexander. And the final one for 10-year awards is Brian Meis. Brian began at the city as a communications officer in 2008. In 2012, he was promoted to his current position as communications shift lead. Brian Meis. Next up are the 15-year awards. First up is Amy Liker. Amy started with the city in 2002 as a secretary for parks. In 2013, her job was reclassified to Parks Administrative Assistant. Amy Liker. And one final award for 15 years is Janet Kuhn. Janet began her career with the city as Convention Sales Manager at the Convention and Visitors Bureau in July of 2003. Janet Kuhn. Now we're getting into the long timers. Next up are the 20-year awards. First up for 20-year awards are Aaron Ditter. Aaron started with the city as a volunteer firefighter in 1998, and he was hired as a career firefighter in 2000. 2 years later, he was promoted to fire engineer, which was reclassified to a fire lieutenant in 2009. He was then promoted to fire captain in 2011. Aaron Ditter. Next for 20-year service award is the person we all know who actually runs the city, Andrea Windholz. Andrea joined the city as a student intern for the city manager's office in 1998. That same year, she became a full-time secretary for the Community Development City Manager Office. In 2001, she was promoted to executive secretary for the city manager office, and in 2002, her job was reclassified to executive assistant. Andrea Windholz. Next for 20 years is Tim Greenwood. Tim began as a police officer in 1998 with the city. In 2010, he was promoted to police sergeant, and in 2015, Tim was promoted to police lieutenant. Tim Greenwood. Next up for 20 years is Jason Bonczynski. Jason started with the city as a police officer in 1998. He became a uniformed investigator in 2008, and 3 years later, he was promoted to police sergeant. Jason Bonczynski. The final one for 20 years is Jason Knipp. Jason has been with the city since 1998 when he became a refuse collector. He transferred to service and became a maintenance worker 1 the following year. In 2001, he transferred back to solid waste to become a recycling truck driver, which was renamed in 2009 to refuse equipment driver. Jason Knipp. Next on the long-timers list are the 25-year awards. First up, Tim Huck. Tim started his career with the city as a plant trainee for the water plant in 1993. In 1994, he was promoted to plant operator 1. A year later, he was promoted to plant operator 2. His latest promotion was in 2015 when he became the water production and distribution superintendent. Tim Huck. Next 25 years, Don Scheibler. Don joined the city as a police officer in 1993. He was promoted to police investigator in 2000 and then police lieutenant in 2005. In 2010, he was promoted to assistant police chief, and the following year was named chief of police, Don Scheibler. Next 25 years, Karen Randa. Karen began her career with the city as a clerk for the service division in 1993. Over her 25 years, she has also been the Public Works Administrative Secretary, Engineering Aide, Engineering Technician, Inspector, and her current role as IT Technician. Karen Randa. The final 25-year award is Sean Swift. Sean started as a plant trainee for the wastewater plant in 1993. In 1994, he was promoted to Plant Operator 1, and in 1995, he was promoted to Plant Operator 2. Sean Swift. And tonight we have two long timers, the 35-year awards. First one goes to Mike Kline. Mike joined the city in 1983 as Plant Operator Trainee for the wastewater plant. He was promoted 2 years later to Plant Operator 1. Mike Kline. And finally for tonight, for 35 years, Ron Rice. Ron began his career as a maintenance worker 2 for the Parks Department in 1983. In 1986, he was promoted to Tree Technician, which was reclassified to Parks Technician in 1989. Ron Rice.